banger.
Oh, it was an absolute banger. I was worried for a minute that we'd max out capacity, but I spent the weekend figuring it out, and oh boy, if I could have played.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I guess there's going to be a lot of people wanting to know more and more about that. So
Sure.
yeah, there's no Maurizio today, so we can take it in any direction you like. I could do a quick Bitcoin, or you could jump into the vault, or
You do your stuff first, and then I'll go after you.
okay. So my stuff is more limited because some of the things that I use like Bitcoin dominance, you kind of steered me in a direction that maybe we can't use them this way or that way. So
Well, Bitcoin dominance isn't real, so it's being predicted. Well, it's not that it's not real; it's that it's being predictably fucked with by factors that you know and understand. Like when Bitcoin is high, the Bitcoin market cap is high, so the Bitcoin dominance is high. Um, all that it's saying is that you can get the direction right. Is Bitcoin outperforming alts? But what predictive value does Bitcoin outperforming alts right now have for the future? That's where it kind of falls down.
interesting, very interesting.
And
So
anything that's widely used will gradually lose effectiveness. So you remember in 2020, the NUPL had worked like forever,
mhm.
and then it didn't pick the 2021 top, and it didn't pick the next one. So it worked 6 times in a row, and then when Glassnode started publishing it and everyone started following it, its effectiveness, it's still effective in a broad way, but
Mhm.
not like it was. So, and this is the way of all edges. If you think about it, trend was a sharp 2.5 to 3 in 1970 through 1990, and now trend in TradFi is a zero point 0.7. It's just the way, and the way that it's described is that today's risk premium is yesterday's alpha. So if you knew that Glassnode on-chain analysis stuff before anyone else did, you had a really, really fucking strong edge. You had a magic trick. But once they said, "Oh fuck, we could make a SaaS service out of this, give it to every cunt," then all of a sudden, surprise the fucking prize, it doesn't work like it used to because you gave the shit away instead of making $1 billion out of it yourselves, you dumb fucks.
Yeah, this is really interesting to hear this thought process.
This is
Okay.
the, this is the nature of all edges, dude.
Mm, mhm.
So
All right.
there's another example of it in the TradFi world. There's a guy called Cliff Asness, who's one of the best quants in the world, runs one of the biggest quant hedge funds, and he did all this work on mixing value, quality, and momentum together in a soup. And he said, these factors are amazing. These are the best 3 factors. They've worked for 100 years. Let's raise $180 billion and shove them into this. And of course, when they raised $180 billion and shoved them into it, the effect, they still worked, but the effectiveness dropped by like 80% because they were
Mm,
just like shoving this giant cock into this tiny little waifu hole and just didn't work.
there we go.
There we go.
Okay. So, I mean, market wise, it still feels like we're in the same place. Like,
The
I,
vibes, the sentiment is terrible.
yeah,
Absolutely rock bottom. Um, I was pretty fucking disturbed at the weekend bullshit that upset me. It started to upset me, and I've rarely like I'm a fucking psychopath. I rarely get upset about anything. Like if I'm stabbing you in the eye, I don't get upset or about that at all. Like I'll just go home and have a snack. And the market started to piss me off. I was like, fuck, this has been a while. It's been a fucking while.
yeah, it is. It is. And I always try and think of the heuristics that have been repeated for many, many years now. And I think that there's one about bottoms where it's like you get to a point where you think to yourself, I fucked it. I fucked it. I thought I had it, but I fucked it. And like when you get to that, that's generally when a bottom tends to appear,
Okay,
but
so here's the thing. That chart looks undamaged, right? That's high highs, high lows. We've got a retest variation pattern on the bottom. We've got a big shakeout. As a chart by itself, looking at just that chart with the volume capitulation at the lows and all the rest of it, that looks good. If we can break the weekly high. If
mhm.
if we break the low 3 weeks ago, I think you'd have to say we're heading down to your second line.
We can do, but if we go, so this is where we're trying to sort of draw a line on technical analysis because we can keep going and going and going. Like we could put a CME chart up and I could go, hey, there's a small CME gap. That's the reason for
Well,
this. So,
CME gaps don't work, so let's not do that.
you know,
We're trying to get away from bullshit. The truth here, and here is the truth, is that Trump is saying a bunch of shit that the markets fucking hate. And he knows they hate it, and he's trying to stare them down with chicken. And they're trying to stare him down. Okay, if you're going to keep talking about this tariffs bullshit, fucking invading Greenland and all that fucking wacky racist stuff, we're going to sell the stocks and people are going to freak the fuck out. And your own side are going to like pull you aside and say, "Can't, you're fucking off a perfectly good thing. Fucking just back off." And so what we have is a battle of wills. Trump wants chaos. He's always wanted chaos. His ideas might be good in the long run, or they might be bad. Who fucking knows? I've got no dog in the fight. Might even be good. Like who the fuck knows? Might be terrible. Who the fuck knows? But they certainly are going to come with short-term pain. And anyone who says that tariffs don't come with short-term pain just isn't paying attention to history. You know, it's just not realistic. So the American consumer balance sheet is in a very good state. The problem is the top 10% of the economy in America does 50% of the spending, and they're very overexposed to the stock market. So let's take a look at the stock market now, man, because that really, whether we go up or down, it's going to depend on the stock market. So either the SPY or the ES.
got some ridiculous Zoom pop up. There we go. There we go. That's on the weekly.
Okay. So you can make both bullish and bearish cases for that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We break below those weekly lows, which are, the equivalent of the Bitcoin weekly lows. We're probably going down a little longer. But how big is the dip compared to past dips? About.
It looks a little bit deeper, a little bit.
It's a bit scarier because it's Trump, right?
It's that uncertainty that Trump brings, doesn't it? But that's how he.
Well, okay, so I think that's an important point you just struck on. Uncertainty is a very good thing for markets. As a long-only investor, you remember how good things fucking looked about 2 weeks after Trump got in? There seemed to be no doubt, like, fucking, we're on here, boys. This is a bad day. We're fucking.
Yeah. Now we wish the sniper had got him.
So that time when you're feeling best about it, and I'm not better than anyone else at this. I've got a singularly incredible record of calling bottoms, and I've got a singularly terrible record of calling tops. I did call the bottom here. I still believe we're at a bottom, and why I believe that is that there might not be a lot of buyers here, but there's not a fucking lot of sellers. I think all the sellers, everyone who was going to sell, really already sold, and that is a position where, because we've got a very thin market now, we haven't got many buyers, we haven't got many sellers, light float, markets can push very, very hard.
A small amount of volume can really move things. So if a large amount of volume was to come in, we would.
Yeah, really... and Trump pulling back on his bullshit would send all of this skyrocketing instantaneously.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like? Let's look at your watch list. What do you like here, man? I mean, FINREV's doing okay. It's just holding steady.
Yeah, FINREV
is doing okay.
FINREV's doing nice. So this is Sol, right? And if you look at this, Sol, like when Sol was $9 and everybody hated it, and Sam Bankman-Fried was associated with it, and from that $9 to when we got up to here, well, that's well over a 10x that Sol has already done. You know, so coins like Sol, I like this for more now of like a near-term trade, like a swing trade, because whatever this bullshit is here, I'm expecting it to just carry on here until, we get whatever pattern, and then we go back up and try to attack these new all-time highs.
I
So
like
if
that because you've got a very safe spot, a very short spot away that if you're wrong. Like if you get a close. So there's only two elements to a trade. How much do you like it, and how much edge do you think you have? How much edge do you think you have? It's probably a coin flip, or even slightly less than a coin flip. But if it goes, it's going to go hard.
Mhm.
If it drops to close below the low 3 weeks ago, you can reasonably say that, oh, fuck, I got that one wrong, and you can bail. So you've got, between 124 and what, 115, you're risking, where are those lows, man?
So that 116 down there, and I mean,
Yeah, I would go a little bit lower, call it 110. So you're risking $25, call it. Trying to catch a move at least
mhm.
at least up to $200. So $25 to make $75. That seems like a trade with edge.
It does. And I also, depending on what your macro beliefs are as well, like if
Okay,
I,
okay, okay. I'm going to stop you there.
okay.
Let's talk about macro beliefs, because it's unreasonable for us not to have an opinion about macro stuff. Like I just talked a bunch of Trump economy tariffs bullshit.
Mhm.
You should, and no one on this call should pay any fucking attention to the dog shit that dribbled out of my mouth there, because none of us have any fucking edge in predicting that. The only reason we do it is because it's almost impossible to stop. If you don't predict, if you don't have some sort of a view, you're just going to subconsciously absorb some other idiot's view off the internet, and you'll be like in boomer porn, fucking gold. Oh, if you measure SPX in gold, it's fucking and so anytime you find yourself predicting markets based on macro factors, and macro factors are big things that everyone knows. So to make money out of those, you have to know stuff that other people don't know, or everyone else in the market has to get it wrong. Like, making money off the halving. Remember that one that people were talking about? And I said, no, guys, I know it's good for the marketing, guys, but let's just shut the fuck up about that. The shit is just, when it's expected, it ain't gonna work.
Mm. This is interesting. I like picking this apart. So I would look at Sol and I would think, okay, then, so there's a whole bunch of Sol investors that have got a fantastic return. So if I was an investor in Sol, and let's say I'd taken some profits, or maybe not even taken some profits, well, I'd be wanting to buy in again because I've already got a winner and I want to back that winner again. So that's what I'm thinking when I say about like this, which I can say is a wrong term or not, this macro belief. It's like we've already been here, you know, and this is the all-time highs. And we know that once we get past all-time highs, we get a rocket. So
Well, Sol is a bet on memes coming back. That's the truth.
well, when Sol has to pump a bit for the memes to come back
Yeah, it's the biggest chicken and egg problem in the world. Right?
yeah, that's the thing. So that's what makes me think, be more favorable about this as a trade, be it how you measured it up, or be it that you hold it for a little bit longer and you build up a position kind of at these lows here.
Okay, so let's talk about what happens if we're wrong. If we go into global recession here, if The tariffs stick. It starts to hurt America, like hurt America, and Trump says, "Fuck it, we're staying with it. Hell or high water, we're just going to ride out a recession." Crypto going to go down. You got to stable up in that situation.
Mm.
It's the truth.
Mm.
No lies between us.
No, no.
FinRev will be fine because it'll be short as a motherfucker. Cross-sectional carry will be fine. Volt will be fine.
Yeah, yeah, it'd just be us.
Um,
Us pressing buttons that won't be fine.
oh yeah, I'll be well fucked. My fucking
Yeah,
conviction bags have badly underperformed every fucking thing that I've done systematically.
I'm with you. So Link has been another one that has
Yeah, I agree there. Old school DeFi stuff with a yield, Link and Aave.
you know, and there's a lot of these. So I think you generally call this same turd but rolled in a different glitter. We start to look at these charts and we think, oh, this looks a little bit like Sol, doesn't it? You know, same sort of behavior, same type of thing going on. There's a clear range. There's some really definitive. If we close below here, you know, if we so this is another one that I look at now.
Are you using uh, are you using open interest and premium and funding on these charts? Because you can't rip it.
Not so much, no. Maurizio is easing me into more of that stuff, but I've
Would you like
really
would you like me to give you guys a bit of a tutorial on how to do that just on these three that you've identified? Would that be something that the community would like for today?
well, that would be fucking awesome, I think. I'm seeing some emojis coming in, yeah. Oops, hang on, I lost my mouse.
Okay, let me share my screen. I'm going to use a little free piece of software called Velo Data. It's not necessarily the best. There's others that are very good. Terminal Lite is one that's very good. Um, Red Fighter is also very good. The first thing you want to do when you evaluate the market is cumulative volume delta is the is an exponentially weighted moving average of the amount of volume done at the market buy versus market sell. So it's effectively measuring aggression. So you want to look for it for a week, and we can see that Binance has been aggressively selling off Bitcoin like cunts. And let's look at, say, you can see the same in Bitcoin starting to stabilize out. Let's look at hype. No. Let's look at Sol. Okay. So the first thing that we want to look at is the open interest and how has it changed over time. So let's take a bit of a 3-month view, and you can see that open interest is quite a strong edge. Most of the edges we have in crypto are downstream of a desire for liquidity. Can you all see that?
Again,
Okay. So when demand for liquidity was high in January, everything was fine. When demand for liquidity really started to fall away, we fell to shit. These returns by hour are very sticky over a month. So if you do plan to buy, you probably want to buy in one of these hours. That sets your alarm. If you want to sell, you probably want to sell here. That's a very useful trick for getting out. Now, the next thing that we want to do is go check the market. And price changes are useless, but we can look separately at large caps. Over a week, we can see that Hyperliquid is by far the worst large cap. Of course, it's the one that I'm balls long with leveraging to. One thing that's very useful with this is to add your favorites to it. You get a favorites list in the thing that I'm going to show you, and you get a list. Now, the next thing that you want to do is look at the funding and see if any of these funding rates are negative, they start to become attractive buys. So we can see that we're starting to get attractive rates on Solana. We look at the sectors. Okay, so over the last week, what's performed best? The layer ones perform best. AI, memes, second worst, layer two worst, and where's DeFi? Gaming worst, meme, AI. That's pretty bad vibes, right? Okay, this is one that you want to see. So when you see, so the top gainer coins, so for example, these little shit coins, you see them make if you saw this move like off the lows, that would be a strong buy. This one, you see a move off the lows, that would be a strong buy. And the way I do this is I look at my favorites. And there's nothing in my favorites list that really looks like a fucking buy at all. Fartcoin. Okay, total open interest. What we want to see is the speculators round tripped from, let's go back 6 months. We want to see the Trump speculators round tripped. Okay, so November, we were at 31. Today we're at 33. So that's pretty close. You can see we just got a bit ahead of ourselves here. Then that's not really important stuff. Then we want to go to the chart. So let's look at Solana. Let's look at it on a daily chart. The things we want are, for a Bitcoin, we want aggregated open interest coins, and we want aggregated funding rate. So when it's strongly negative, everyone is going short and it's likely to reverse. When it's strongly positive, everyone wants to go long and a reversal is imminent. So you would see a big bonus spike like this and you would think, fuck, shit's getting too hot. You would see this and go, yeah, it's too hot. It's time to wind down. This one spiked. Well, that was fucking weird, right? That's just completely fucking weird, unexpected, something that you're not seeing. Where are we now? As price is going down, open interest was going down as the longs got wiped out. You can see from here, people started to build shorts. They flipped from long to short broadly here. And then they got this big candle and it fucked them. And they got out of their shit. And this one could go either way. So we're building up quite a high short position. The shorts are building as it's going up. Now, this premium is what the funding rate is calculated on. So what we're seeing is you're being paid to go long because there is a tremendous amount of shorts in here. So what we know for sure is that if this doesn't hurt, so if it costs you, so it costs you 17.81% to go short, to go short. That's okay if it continues to go down, right? If it starts to go up, it starts to cut into your profits a lot, right? So this period of sideways is starting to hurt. We know that it's going to hurt as well from both the funding and the price point of view at about here. that's going to start to get spicy for them. That's short squeeze territory. Also lines up with your RTV buy that you were looking at before, right? So I think you were right there. I think you're right there. This is vulnerable to a short squeeze. Doesn't look like it's necessarily yet. Let's look at the next one. What else do you want to look at?
Link.
Yeah. Well, let's look at the bigger picture. Oh, and the other thing that we might want to look at is aggregated liquidations. So you can see at tops, just before tops, we tend to get liquidations. You know, shorts liquidated. And now we got more liquidations here. But we haven't really had an excess of liquidations. So what's going on here is we have the market going up people increasing their positions, people still increasing their positions here. So both sides are making a very big bet that it's going to break out soon one way or the other. So a big bet doesn't give us any edge on direction. A big bet tells us that when it moves, it's going to be explosive. And I think that's lining up with what you said already. So we don't have a lot of edge in this trade. This isn't one that you take. Let's look at the one that I'm currently being fucked on. So I got in. I should never have fucking boasted about it. I should have fucking known. I got in here at 13.1 on that day. And I was feeling pretty fucking great. Now I'm not feeling so pretty fucking great. Where are we here? Okay. So we've got extreme open interest. We've got liquidations. We've got funding rate. Costs you 10.95% to go short. So there's more shorts than longs. Why would Ian? Why would there be more shorts than longs than this than Solana? Aren't they all the same? What do you reckon?
That's a really good question.
It's all these stakers.
Is it to do with?
It's
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go on.
421 million fucking hype staked.
How does that work then? I'm unsure how to put those two pieces of information together.
Okay, so a staker is eligible for season 2 rewards. So you get the second hyperliquid airdrop, which is going to be even more generous than the first. You also get paid a whopping 2% interest on it, which is nothing. You also get eligible for other airdrops from other coins. So, sorry, we got pollution in Phuket. It's just driving me fucking nuts. It's not pollution, it's smoke from some burning that's washed over it.
Yeah.
And because those people have their coins locked up for a week, what do you do if Hyperliquid is crashing and your coins are locked up for a week?
Oh,
You short.
yeah.
You short to hedge.
You're hedging yourself. Okay.
Okay, so if we look at this for Hyperliquid, if we look at the funding, the open interest just on Hyperliquid, see how it looks different than the aggregated open interest? So this is open interest on all the exchanges. This is the one we should be looking at here because Hyperliquid is the big dog in its own thing. Okay, so let's have a closer look. And so then you drop down into time frame. So what I want to see is big liquidations, both sides. We got no edge there. I had no age there. I had nothing to say.
Because the market still feels like it's on incredibly hard to play level. So
Oh,
it's like,
dude,
you
ferocious.
you wake up and you think to yourself, right, how can I make money from the market today with all the knowledge
Oh
that
yeah,
I've
look at
got
the
and
open. This is why.
you
So
know,
so so the stock market gap down, kept going. If we look at, oh, that's lovely. Gap. Oh, bleh. Fucking, he must be opening his fucking mouth again, the fat cunt. Um, let's see what the fuck's going on.
I mean, this like the words global liquidity are really easy to say, but I think the global liquidity is so complicated that I haven't got the slightest clue as to how it works. But I think that has such a huge impact on everything that we're doing here.
Yeah, I mean, you see the headlines, like it's pretty obvious what's going on in the market until Trump comes out and says, "Don't worry, we're not going to actually do any of that crazy shit." Liberation Day. Tariffs go into effect on Wednesday. Nuts. Fucking nuts. Um, yeah, markets like certainty. They got no certainty. They're gonna continue to throw a tantrum. I'm probably gonna have to bail on this hype train. Everything systematic seems working. I would not actively trade. Like, you don't want to, the market gives you times when it's very easy and it gives you times when it's really fucking hard. And you want to pick your moments very carefully. Like, if you'll notice, I lock in and do shit when it's easy and it makes me look good. And then I fuck off and go sit on a beach for a month. DCAing in small bits, perfectly good, man. Wish I had money to DCA left.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
I
And
bought the dip several times.
yeah, I keep looking at my pile of Retardio and thinking it'll all
Oh,
be okay. It'll all be okay, Ian. But yeah, this is it. It's like I find these times really interesting because it's like shit is so easy to say. Like, oh yeah, buy when everything's crashing. Like that's really easy to say, but actually doing it
what the fuck? I'm skint now. I'm
is a
building a
different.
fucking house. What the fuck?
I know, I know. But yeah, I mean, some days you just got to take your hands off the wheel, haven't you? It's like
Oh, look, that's
FinRev is just doing its thing. So it's
oh,
like I don't get excited or disappointed. Like there you go, it's working, and it'll just keep on working. The vault is now. David is running the vault. I don't need to do fuck all. So there's two vehicles where it's beach time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This
What are you
other
doing?
stuff we
What are you
do,
doing for Thumbcran, Ian?
say again, mate, for
You doing-
Songkran. Uh, well, I'm not sure whether to attend the buffalo racing or do this street dance to the local temple or go to Bangkok and just. No, I've nothing planned at the moment. You'll be in Australia though, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going on Saturday, and but they have a big Thai community, and they have a Songkran out there, and I'm going to take my kid for that because.
Nice.
All right, guys, let's call it there. We got nothing else to say. Um, yeah, I reckon I reckon it's a good time to take a week off, and that's just telling you the way I see it.
Awesome sauce.
Can't hurt you if you don't see it.
Thank you, Scott. Cheers, everybody. See you in the group.